Hey, welcome to the Pharmacy Residency Podcast, a member of the Pharmacy Podcast Network. I am Tony Guerra. What I wanted to talk to you about was limited academic APPE part-time virtual spots, and they can be formal or informal for a minimum of 20 hours a week for 4 weeks. So let me kind of explain, first of all, what an academic APPE is. Some of you are doing these types of APPEs at your school, and you support either one of the professors or one of the administrators, and they give you some work to do. Maybe you correct papers, maybe you do some administrative stuff and things like that. My role is very different. I teach at a community college, so I teach year-round, and I teach 5 courses a semester. So chemistry and pharmacology are the 2 big ones. This spring, I have general pharmacology course, health information technology pharmacology course, and then chemistry for pre-health professionals. So generally people that are getting into nursing. And on that end of things, it's a matter of, meeting with students virtually. Some of the classes are online, but they like it when you kind of touch base rather than having, I have office hours from X to X. Just checking in with them for maybe a lunchtime conversation to talk to them, ask them what's going on, what are they struggling with, and to give them support. The other part of this is that, unfortunately, around 1,400 of you who have applied for residency will not get an interview. So you can look at that 2 ways. A, it's good to know now, and I can start applying for jobs after. Or B, well, now I know, and I need to figure out how I'm going to, change my, what are the things I'm going to do differently for phase 2. Now, phase 2, I don't want to discourage you, but phase 2, you're going to have about 4 times as many applicants for the exact same spots. And usually phase 2 only has between 200 and 300 spots rather than, the 4,000 that are available. And everything has to be done in a certain timeline. Now I'll be helping with letters of intent and CVs and things like that when we get to that time. But here's the timeline. Between now and the end of January, probably, maybe early February, but really end of January, about 1,400 students will find out that they have not earned an interview for this season. Now, it's really tough because many of you are going to get ghosted, or many of those are going to get ghosted. For those of you who don't know the term, it just means that someone was in a conversation and then all of a sudden the person is gone. And because of the volume, just to write, so let's say you're a program, you have 300 applications for your program, you have 5 people to do it, and you've decided that you're going to interview 60 of those people. You have 240 rejection emails to write. Now, even if you make that a template, you still have to individually write it, make sure you don't send it to the wrong person, and you have to create that email, and then that email will create another email back asking, well, was there anything I could have improved? Is there anything more I could do? And those types of things. So many programs are simply overwhelmed by the number of applications and will not send an email. Now, does forecast says they should send an email, but there's no teeth to that. There's no, I'm sorry, but you've lost your residency accreditation because you didn't send an email back to the people that applied. Okay. Now, many sites do the best they can, but many of you will never hear back. And I get that's how discouraging that is because you put in so much time into the application, to your CV, to your letter of intent, to getting your recommenders to get everything on time. But it's just the nature of the beast because you're applying for a program that has the HR doesn't send it to you. It's RPD and maybe 2 to 5 residents, and that's a very very overwhelming thing for them to have to do. So 1,400 of you will not get an interview, and then on match day, this is where it gets even tougher. 2,300 more will find out that they did not earn the residency slot on the same day. So this is so different from medical school where there's 99% or 99 point something percent match. It is a given. And as pharmacy school enrollments drop, and as ASHP continues to add about 300 residencies a year, it should be eventually at the point where we are the same as med, where everyone gets a residency. Now, what that does though is instead of the end being your last year of pharmacy school, where it was for me, get plenty of jobs in 97, and we were just at the beginning of that kind of, and here's your signing bonus and BMW, which actually was closer to the early 2000s. That wasn't really with my graduating class. And so you've got this mass of people. So the advantage is that if you were in that first group, you knew that was coming. You can make changes to your letter of intent. You can make changes to your CV, and you can add activities like the academic APPE. On the second side, those 2,300, well, it's a lot tougher to add those activities. And now you're in a position where you have about a week or two, I want to say it's a week, to apply, and I'll talk more about this with the actual dates, to reapply to get into phase 2. I feel like they open it a week later, here are the sites, or the sites are actually that afternoon, and then you apply a week later. And now there are, well, at least if you look at last year's numbers, there were, I have to do this in my head. Okay, carry the 1. Actually, it's carry the 3, 1, 6. Okay, so 3,631. 3,631 potential applicants for 200 spots. Now, most of those don't apply to those 200 spots or reapply in phase 2. There are many who, will fight the good fight. And I helped 20 people last year, and we had a success rate of 4 of 20. 4 of those 20 matched. And you say, well, that's not very good. That's like 20%, right? And the thing is, though, the actual rate is closer to like 13% will match in phase 2. And it really, again, it is a match. It's not, okay, well, there's got to be a president somewhere that didn't match, and there's got to be this or that didn't match. I don't have a chance, and that's not true. So what I'm offering is you don't have to be in this group of 1,400 that doesn't get this initial interview. But an APPE, at least when I was in pharmacy school, gosh, I sound like a parent. When I was in pharmacy school, we had, our electives were 3 days a week, and our full-time were full-time. So what I'm offering is 20 hours a week for at least 4 weeks. Now, you can do it for longer, and we can do this formally or informally. Let's start with formally. If you want me to work with your college, I work with 5 colleges of pharmacy, and there's many of us on this virtual. You don't have to do academic APPE with me. You can do something with someone else. But if you are in that group of 1,400 and want to continue on your residency application journey, you have to change something between now and then. And you are given a couple of weeks, about 6 weeks, to do that. That being said, you are in a difficult position because 2,300 who did get an interview will also be applying with you for those residency positions. So I think that you actually have to have something like this, whether it's virtual with me or virtual with any of the people on that, the informatics guys' big list of virtual APPE rotations. And what this does is it adds rubric points for you. So what's that mean? Every residency has a rubric. They have to be fair. And what they do is they score your application. And it's in my interview course where I talk about the rubric points for the interview and then how you were scored in the first place to get the interview. this type of academic APPE actually hits teaching and service, and I'll explain that. So teaching would be in pharmacology and chemistry. You would work with me, and I would give you project-based assignments regarding improving the pharmacology and chemistry classes. And then it is also an interprofessional classroom. So community college are where the underserved start their journey. We have Fulbright scholars. And you might say, Fulbright, isn't that the thing with like Oxford or, these really big international universities? Yes. Community college, by definition and by the classification, is a place that Fulbright scholars go, because what they want to do is they want to inspire those who are underserved, who traditionally have not completed four-year college degrees. So teaching and service, you want to kind of knock them out both at the same time. But I do require a minimum requirement of 20 hours a week for 4 weeks. If you want to do it formally, then you would kind of explain things to your experiential learning. And this is where I'm really a little bit confused. Many experiential learning offices do not want students contacting us directly. So you would contact them to contact me, okay, if you're in the formal side. If you just want to build your CV and you want this to be informal, then you just contact me. And you just want to have the teaching experience, whether it be to improve your application if you don't get an interview, or if you see that you're going to be doing a teaching certificate over the next year and you don't want your first teaching to be in the residency where it might be a struggle under the duress and all of that, then you might want to do this with me. So if you do have an off block, maybe you do want to spend 20 hours a week with me for 4 weeks or 5 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever it is with your off block. So TonyThePharmacist@gmail.com. You can kind of tell me your situation. We can kind of look at it and see what the best thing is. All right. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck, and I will be in touch soon about getting on the email list as we continue on with this journey.